All right, everybody, here we go. We are live, and we are in Qatar. The second to last race, the penultimate race is here. We have 57 laps ahead of us. Let's see what actually happens here. Once again, I'm with you this morning. F1 Silly Mornings, as always. And I'll be giving you commentary, so put on your favorite broadcast. Hopefully it's the international one. We're using the hardest compounds of tires, C3, C2, C1. This is round 23 coming from Qatar. It is nighttime. The circuit is lit. Let's get to the starting grid. 20th, Franco Colapinto. 19th, Gabriele Bortoleto. In 18th, we have Lance Stroll. 17th, Lewis Hamilton. In 16th, Esteban Ocon. 15th, Yuki Tsunoda. In 14th, Alexander Albon. 13th, Oliver Bearman. In 12th, Liam Lawson. 11th, Nico Hülkenberg. In 10th, Charles Leclerc. 9th, Pierre Gasly. In 8th, Fernando Alonso. 7th, Carlos Sainz. Moving on to the top 6, Isaac Hadjar. In 5th, Kimi Antonelli. Pair of rookies. In 4th, George Russell. 3rd, Max Verstappen. Moving on to the top row, or front row, Lando Norris in 2nd, and 1st is Oscar Piastri. Now, from what we've seen in the sprint race, we're going to see most likely little overtaking on the track, with the exception of turn 1 into the subsequent turns. And once that happens, we should be expecting kind of, pit stops and strategy and possible penalties from going off the track to affect the times of this race. Now, I hope you're all ready for 57 laps of what may just be decided by the pit stops. So hopefully we get something exciting. Hopefully there's more action than what I'm seeing, but I'm just not seeing it. I didn't see it out of the pit race, the sprint race. So we'll just have to deal with it. So without further ado, it's 10:59. The drivers are getting ready. 3 drivers attempting to claim the World Drivers' Championship. And we'll see what happens here. As the time ticks down, it is officially 11 a.m. here on the East Coast of the United States. All the crews go off the track. The formation lap is set to take effect. We are probably about 40 seconds in delay on screen. I think we're still going here, right? Yeah, we are. I was looking at something. I'm like, what? What's happening here? Cool. Okay. Formation lap going on. Everyone in the top 10 on mediums. Hülkenberg starting on the softs. Lawson and Bearman on the mediums. Albon on the hard. Yuki and Ocon on the mediums. Hamilton on the soft. Stroll and Bortoleto on the medium. And who's at the back? My mind is Colapinto on the softs. Or on the hards. I'm getting hards on the data here, but I'm getting hards. That's great. That's a great phrase to be using right there. Well, away we go. We have our formation lap going. I'm going to grab a cup of coffee. I will be right back. Okay, so we're back. I am caffeinated now. We have to show Sir David Beckham. And we have all the cars slowing up, making sure make sure Oscar Piastri's car his tires are as cold as possible as they line up. Very slow lining up on the grid. This is it's exactly what I figured would happen. The top three are lining up right now. The Mercedes pulling in behind them. And the rest of the grid hustling it up. The final car has gone through the final turn. Looks like Colapinto is starting in the pit. I did not get that memo. There we go. Safety car pulls up behind all of the cars. And here we go. The first turn, the green flag is being waved behind all of them. 3, 4, 5 lights, and they are go. Quick release here. Oscar gets a good jump. Looks like Max gets right alongside Lando. Max is ahead of Lando going into turn 1. Max has the turn. Oscar holds on to the position. Max pushes Lando out of the way. And Max already takes the second position. He's lined up right behind Oscar. Oscar is pulling away. Lando is right on Max's tail. Lando goes for a move on the outside. Max closes the door. Looks fairly clean. We've got a lot of shuffling happening of spots, so let's see what happens in the aftermath. We're keeping a focus on the front right now. There was a lot of shakeup towards the back. Looks like Hamilton was able to jump a few spots, but still just kind of positioned back there. Leclerc maintaining in 10th, 9th for Gasly. Looks like Sainz was able to jump ahead of Russell and Alonso. Something happened there, and Antonelli moves up to 4th. This is really interesting, guys. Hopefully we'll be seeing something exciting out of this race. All right. Down the front straight, past the pit lane. It looks like everything has kind of evened out. Piastri has a decent lead. I can't tell. He's got a bit of space. Max has a little bit of space on Lando. Hulkenberg moves up to 10th, making a move on Leclerc. Hulkenberg's on the softs, though, so we have to expect that he's going to make his moves early on. DRS is enabled, but again, we only have one DRS zone here. Oh, and the pit is open. I like how it's like green light, pit exit is open. Risk of rain for F1 race is 0%. Well, we're in Qatar, so that's to be expected. It's lights out. Let's go. Okay. So as it stands, they're saying the championship will go to Abu Dhabi. I think that as long as Norris is ahead by 1 point, in this, not by 1 point, as long as he scores more than 1 point, I can't, over the weekend, I'm trying to remember the exact wording of it, the phrasing. Oscar putting in the fastest lap, 1:27.1. And here we go. Going into the first turn, going into the second. Looks like Gasly is having a lot of contact. Looks like he's sparking underneath his car. I don't know if you're seeing this, but look at Piastri's car right now. You see, you got a bit of sparks happening, and that doesn't look like it's normal. Somebody's been dinged for track limits already. Looks like Yuki. What a big surprise. That kind of wrecked his sprint race there. Russell had a horrible start. I don't even see what happened to him in the first few turns. We're going to have to get a replay of the start once things start to kind of space themselves out. Oscar is more than 2 seconds ahead of Max already. That is crazy. So here we go. Thank you for joining me this morning. My name is Joe. You are watching F1 Silly Mornings. We are into the fourth lap. We might be a little bit behind here. Looks like Gasly had an incident rejoining unsafely. That has been noted. That was a turn 14 incident. So we're gonna have to look at that. Let's see the race start here. So let's focus on Russell because we saw what happened to Max. So Russell's in fourth. Russell gets a terrible jump. Antonelli gets a really good jump. But Russell stays with it, but Russell just backs off hard against Antonelli. And then as we're going along here, oh, you see George his car kind of jitters to the right. And I think he had to recover there. Okay. Max got a really good start. So did Oscar. Lando got a very mediocre start. Let's see. And away we go. So let's see what happened to Hamilton. Hamilton... I don't know why we're seeing a replay of Hamilton at the moment. Or is this Leclerc? No, this is Hamilton. Ooh, Hamilton gets pushed off by whoever the Racing Bulls was. Lawson, I'm guessing. Ooh. Yeah, it looks like Leclerc went off the track. Like we're having a lot of issues of cars staying on the track. It looks like we're getting pushed off. And yeah, Gasly has a piece of the car hanging off. They probably need to bring him in. Okay, Antonelli track time deleted for track limits. All right. I mean, Piastri already has the lead is, this is the problem with this racetrack. I'm telling you, there's no, Max saying he has quite extreme balance shifts right to left-hand corners. Gasly has his track time deleted on lap 2 for going off. Lando has dropped back. Max has dropped back. Antonelli. I mean, nobody is. I'm not seeing. I mean, the Hulkenberg looks like he's right on Gasly. Yes, right on Gasly. Max Verstappen just puts in the fastest lap of 1:26.8. Black and white flag for Pierre Gasly rejoining unsafely. So one more incident and he's going to get tagged with 5 seconds. I told you that this would be that there would be something here with track limits and everything, and it looks like we're starting to hit that. So if you can, if you're watching here, be paying attention to that. My stream, we're on lap 6 right now. If you want to sync up with where we are, we're just watching here, right? Right now, Verstappen's the fastest on the track. I'm just trying to see if there's anybody within anything. Everybody's kind of put in yellows right now. A few green spots, maybe a purple spot here and there. Nope. Ocon's noted for a false start moving before the signal, which most likely means he moved before the signal. It's usually just the warning until you get the penalty. So Ocon will probably get dinged. Oh boy. Who is that? That looks like Bortoletto. No, that's Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg, we have a yellow flag. We might get red flagged. What happened? He is missing a tire and everything. We might get red flagged here. I don't know if he can get off there. And Gasly is on fire, basically. His car is sparking so hard. There is something underneath. Oh, he has a puncture. And he has something under his car. Yeah, safety cars deployed. I wouldn't be surprised if we red flag this just to get the track cleared up. Yeah, Gasly has a puncture. At least one. I can see his tire. Hulkenberg's car is just toast, though. And this is where, where we thought that, we might see. So all the cars have 7 laps on their tires. You cannot put more than 25 laps on a tire right now. So we have the safety car being deployed. Max is going into the pits right now. Might make sense. This is a gamble here, right? You're gambling with what happens here. Ferrari's moving into the pit as well, so it looks like a bunch of cars are coming in. Max is away. Looks like the Williams, not a fast stop, but you don't need to be fast with the safety car. Looks like Antonelli had to pause for a bit. You got George coming in behind. Alonso had a pretty good stop. Sainz had a pretty good stop. I mean, you can't just run everybody in and everybody out at the same time. Everybody is in the pits with the exception of the leaders. Verstappen gives up space to Ocon, but Ocon didn't pit, so that's why. And we'll have to see if that comes back to bite Ocon or not. You got to wonder if they asked if they were asking Piastri if they wanted to. The Ocon incident is now officially under investigation by the stewards. Yeah, we have a recovery vehicle on the track at turn 2. This happened at turn 2, so I'm trying to think of what happened there. We need Ocon to catch up to the pack here. Okay, so Ocon has been given the 5-second penalty. False start. That's it. Get to the back of the line, Ocon. I'm sorry, Esteban. So, let's see this. Okay, so Hulkenberg's there. Yeah, that's a... I mean, he was with him in the turn. I'm gonna say that Hulk. I'm gonna say Gasly kind of miffed that one. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Gasly didn't give him any space. Hulkenberg had him at the apex of the turn. And Gasly just doesn't slam into him, but just hits him enough to send him going. Not great. Not great. Okay, Ocon's gone into the pit. He's going to serve his penalty. Max moves up to third. Yeah, Pierre's just got to give him space there, and Hulkenberg had him in the turn. So what was it that that Fernando Alonso said? You have to leave the space. We should have followed him in. No, if we knew the car ahead was staying out, they have lost all of their flexibility for the remainder of the race. Is what they're saying to Norris. I don't know if that's true. Because Verstappen is because what did they put on Verstappen? They put the mediums on. So it's somewhat calculated. So now it's like, how many stops are there actually going to be? All right, so here's Ocon at the start. I can't tell. Like, I can never tell the false starts. It's hard to see. You have to slow it down so much. Okay, so we have Kimi Antonelli going in. Can't be released. All right. So it looks like Sector 3 is clear. So Ocon pulls up behind Pierre Gasly after serving his penalty and going into the pit. Leclerc was able to get back into the top 10 after all was said and done. Hamilton still in 14th. I don't know if it did. I think Yuki went in as well. I'm not sure. I don't have. Where's my data channel? Where's my data channel? I have my timing channel. Where's my data channel? Well, that doesn't give me anything. That doesn't give me pit stops. Okay. Well, here we are. So we're on safety car right now. Oh, yeah. Okay. So they did bring Yuki in. Okay. So turn 2 incident involving cars, Gasly and Hulkenberg noted, causing a collision. Verstappen's on the radio. I don't have the audio at the moment. So it's now officially under, excuse me, the incident between Hulk and Gasly is now under investigation. So let's see. Oscar's still in the lead. Norris is not hanging up front with him, which is the thing. Okay, so Norris came back to him, so we're having to. This is going to be really interesting here. Lando, the goal here now is really good pace until lap 25. Basically, everyone else will be stopping on lap 32. We know that now. Yes, they do. Okay, so the safety car is ending. So once the safety car goes in, Piastri will be the de facto safety car, and Piastri has already slowed it all down. Lando is right on Piastri. Man, wouldn't it be something if these two come together right here? Reminder, get close, they're telling Norris. I mean, Oscar Piastri taking them as slow as possible. Looks like Oscar's hit the gas, and here we go. All right, we're coming to the final turn here to go to the pit straight. Oscar laid on the gas. I can't remember what turn that was, but... And they're all coming down the straight now. Track is clear. Green flag. And Lando did not keep it close enough to Norris. Or Lando did not keep it close enough to Piastri, I should say. So here we are. We're going into turn one. Not as nearly compacted as we thought it would be. You know, I'm trying to think of what McLaren's strategy is here now. Because we're going to have... They're going to be on the odd... Because they're going to be on the actual pit stop timing. So they'll be on lap 25. Excuse me. And so then you have Max behind, who's going to have to go another 7 laps after that. But his car will be lighter, less fuel. But do the tires last, I guess is the thing. Now they've used another set of mediums here, so you need to change the set. Oscar is putting in a banger of a lap, it looks like. Max is not within DRS, it doesn't look like. Maybe, okay, so DRS will be enabled on this lap. Should be. Let's make sure. I haven't seen the DRS enabled sign yet. Oscar Piastri putting in the fastest lap of the race with the 125. Much faster lap than all the others. Max putting in a 127. Okay, so Ocon failing to serve time penalty correctly. Norris went off the track, getting dinged for track limits there. DRS has been re-enabled. So Ocon's day might be going from bad to worse. You have to serve those penalties correctly, my friend. So, look, Piastri has the pace right now. I mean, Piastri has been incredibly fast. He got the jump. He's now just running his race at the moment. And he's kept Lando out of DRS range. Now, one has to wonder if Max has dropped back from Lando quite a bit, 3 seconds. You got to wonder if Max is having an issue. Because Carlos Sainz is getting closer to Max. Let's see. Turn 2 incident involving cars. Okay, so they're calling it a racing incident between Gasly and Hulkenberg. I get it. Okay, and Ocon has no further investigation either. Okay. Interesting. Usually when it's like did not serve the okay, Albon's track time was deleted. Usually when they say you didn't serve the it's under investigation, it usually means you didn't serve it correctly. So okay, so I mean, I guess that's racing. You know, sometimes you have... I think that Gasly got a little wide there. But, you know, let him race. Let him race. We don't need penalties for everything, I guess. So, it is what it is. Welcome. It's Sunday morning. We are in Qatar. We are watching the race going on right now. We got our times coming up here. Max has dropped back on intervals. He's about 4 seconds behind Lando Norris. You would think that with these tires, he'd be blazing right now with fresh tires, but he's not. Norris is getting left in the dust too. Piastri is just a rocket ship at the moment, which is just odd. Not odd, but it's crazy. On the last lap, Piastri put in a lap best Okay, so Albon's getting dinged for another track limits. We got to keep an eye on that because Albon's now up to 2. One more, I think he gets the black and white flag, and then one more after that, and how you doing? You're going to sit around for a little bit. I don't know if these mediums got up to speed fast enough, or got up to grip fast enough, because we're seeing Max just hanging back. Now, maybe this is a strategy. Maybe he's letting his keeping his tires intact for when Norris and Piastri have to pit, because they're going to have to, either they're going to double stack or they're going to have to do an odd timing on it. So we shall see that, right? Max coming around doing a personal best in sector 3 right now, in the 3rd sector, I should say. This is really interesting here. Max is just so far back right now. He's just had personal best time, but he's at 126.1. That's not gonna, and I mean, Piastri's putting in 125.6s, and Norris is putting in 125.8s. Are they burning through their tires? I mean, I guess, are they going to have tires left at lap 25? This is the real question. Are we seeing? Is there something I'm missing here? That I mean, maybe the McLarens are just that much faster. Yeah, Max is putting in a slow time. I mean, you got to think that Lando's trying to catch, because if Lando wins, I think that's kind of the end of the game here, right? Behrman has moved up into the top 10. Russell fallen down to 8th place. Hadjar down to 7th. Alonso has moved up to 6th. Good to see him, responding to me, calling out Aston Martin over the beginning of the weekend. And again, here's the problem here. There's no place to pass. And then you try to have a pass and, and then Hulkenberg gets wrecked. Turn 1 is kind of really the only place where you can make any sort of move, and here we are, just kind of watching cars go in a circuit, watching the dance, so to speak. Sainz has moved up 3 spots. He's now slotted in at the 4th spot. Very exciting for him and that team. Hopefully they're able to capitalize on that. Let's see. Just trying to figure out what is happening, because Max is now over. Okay, so Stroll is getting noted for a yellow flag infringement. Now, I'd be talking about that a little bit more if Lance Stroll wasn't in the 16th spot. Looks like Gabriel Bortoleto is getting dinged, or is getting noted for that as well. And Albon, what is happening here? What happened with this yellow flag that these guys did not take notice? Okay. Okay, it looks like Lando is starting to slow down a little bit. Or no, that was Max. Never mind. I'm looking at the wrong times. I'm looking at intervals here. Piastri is he keeps on churning out these 125s, and it's going crazy. I can't believe how fast he is at the moment. Right, so if he can just keep on putting out 125s, he's going to outpace the entire field. Because Lando is barely hanging on to 125.9 at this moment. Whereas Max is at 126 right now, and that's his best. Yuki Tsunoda moved up to 12th. Mostly because of happenstance here. You know, he was able to score some points in the sprint, had a really bad qualifying. That's going to happen. Man, Piastri's just putting in another banger of a lap here. And it's insane. I'm looking at all the data here, and it's just so crazy to see what these times are. And Max is at about 4.7 behind Norris. He's about 8 seconds behind Piastri. Finally, Max goes under 125, and Norris runs a 126 on this pass lap. Maybe the tires are starting to fall off for the McLaren there. Yuki just went off track, has track time deleted. I think if he gets dinged again, he's going to get the black and white. You know, Yuki has had a problem with turn 10 this weekend, and that's something that we're seeing. In fact, everybody's having problems with turn 10. Albon's 2 times that he's had deleted have been at turn 10. So that's what we're seeing right now. Let's see. So let's take a look at what Norris is going to be putting in right now, because Norris is going to start. Okay, Norris is putting in a purple in the third sector right now. Looks like this will be a personal best in the third sector, not a... Yeah, personal best in the third sector for Lando. Man, can you imagine cheering for him? I mean, I don't, like, if he's your favorite driver, that's great. You know, I don't want Lando Norris to win. I feel like there was a lot of whining on his behalf throughout the season, so I don't really want it. Okay, so Lance Stroll, no further investigation on the yellow flag infringement. Let's see if anybody else. No further investigation on Bortoleto on the yellow flag infringement. And I have a feeling we'll also have that on Albon as well. I mean, Piastri is doing exactly what he needs to. Now, Max is kind of matching his lap times now. And Max is slowly cutting into Norris's interval there. But again, this track is so boring. This track is so boring. And Albon, no further investigation on him. And then Piastri puts in a personal best in Sector 3. Same thing with Max. And then Norris puts in a record for Sector 3. So really, there's no movement between these cars at the moment. You know, Piastri has the lead that he needs. So now Piastri's going to get to pick his spot, so to speak, because he's in the lead. The lead driver gets to pick when he pits. I'm just watching, seeing what's happening here. Seeing if, like, we suddenly see a cliff, but we're not. We're not seeing that cliff with Piastri or Norris. We're not seeing the tires just fall off. And I just don't know. Max's last lap was pretty quick, but it's not catching up is the thing. Now, again, he might be saving his tires, might be just running the race. He's got some space to Lando. He doesn't have to do anything. It's not getting pressured from behind. This is the problem. Like, so right now it's like, what am I watching? I'm watching times. I'm having to give you times, and that's kind of boring, because, you know, like the back of the race, there's a good amount of, you know, cars close to each other, but they can't pass. They can't pass each other. Like, if you look at that DRS train that you have from Hajar to Stroll, I mean, that's crazy. Well, I guess Lawson just broke the DRS train there. but that's crazy. But there's nowhere for them to go. Where are we? Where are they going to pass? You know, they have to get it done on the straight. It's not a long enough straight. Okay, Lawson just had a track. Okay, so Albon should get a black and white flag here. Because, yep, Alexander Albon, black and white flag. Lawson had a track time deleted. That's his first, I believe. So one more off the track, and Albon will get penalized. So I'm watching this. I'm watching it. Let's see. Max has not really gained anything. Got a little faster in the first sector. A little faster in the second sector. You know, and here, so like, I'm watching this. So you have Piastri, Lando, Max. You know, like that's how long it was between them in turn one. You know, like it's just crazy how much slower we're seeing them, and it's like, come on, guys, I need some passing done here. Now, the pit is never a guarantee. You never are guaranteed a great pit. So we're approaching a very crucial moment now. Yeah, so let's see where Albon goes off. Again, I think it was turn 10 again. Yep, turn 10. He went all the way off there. He went too wide. So right now, as it stands, if it ended today, Piastri would be at 390, as it is 399. Verstappen would be at 386, and Lando would be at 414. That would mean that we would finish up in Abu Dhabi. But I think if Lando wins, I think that's the end. I think we have the final race, and it's over. I predicted at the beginning of the season that Lando Norris would be the world champion. And, I mean, for the most part, I've been right so far. I mean, McLaren has seemed to really favor him, and it's really weird. Okay, so we're on lap 23. We're going to have to start seeing what happens here. So Piastri put in a 125.8. Norris put in 126.1. Max put it at 125.9. So he's slower than Piastri, but he's faster than Norris, so he should be catching up to Norris, one would think. But again, I don't know. I don't see Max's times catching up to Lando, and I'm like, you have fresh tires. I don't know if it's, yeah, I mean, slightly faster. This is tough. This is a tough one here, guys. McLaren, the pit crew is standing around looking at their tires, kind of looking up at the sky, starting to kind of move around. They're going to have to do it pretty soon, right? Now, the question is, are they going to double stack? Because the pit crew needs to be right on it, right there. So this is the only time, like, this is one of the few times in the race where we're feeling the tension, where we're feeling it get tense. Because this is where it's make it or break it for McLaren at the moment. You know, we're seeing them start to put in the I mean, Max has gone under 4 seconds to Norris, so that's important there. Norris is around 4 seconds to Piastri. Okay, so we've got Piastri going into the pit. Norris is now the leader. This makes sense. All right, so let's see how fast this pit is. Felt like a little bit of a hang there. We don't have pit times here, do we? Okay, I have this coming on. They're boxing Norris on this next lap. Let's see. Norris crawling out 29 seconds outside that pit. Man, that is a long way. And it's crazy how far ahead Piastri was compared to the rest of the pack, though. And that goes to show you just how, like, awful this race is, guys. You know, like, just like... Ugh. Like, Max is, you know, over 10... is 11 seconds in the lead over... or is 11 seconds in front of Carlos Sainz right now. 11 seconds! It's crazy. All right. So Norris is going to box this lap, which will mean that Max will take the lead. Piastri's being put behind Antonelli, but he seems to have a good amount of... Okay, so Norris swings into the pit lane. I don't know if he slowed down soon enough. Or maybe he... I can't tell where the line was. So Max Verstappen takes the lead in the race. That was a quick change for Norris. 2.2. We didn't even get a time on Piastri. I didn't see the time, at least. So now you have Piastri come down. Oh, man, they are going... You know, Norris is going to come out right in back of Piastri. Okay. Fernando is right on Norris now. Ooh, Fernando has a chance to do something funny here. Lando needs to get his tires fired up now. Let's see here. So we have... So right now, as it stands, Max Verstappen's in the lead, followed by Carlos Sainz, followed by Kimi Antonelli, and then followed by Piastri and Lando Norris. So now every car has made at least one pit stop. We are now watching to see what happens now, because Piastri and Norris now have fresh tires. The rest of the pack, with the exception of Lance Stroll, who has now gone in for the pit, we didn't pay attention to that one, now is on older tires. Let's see, Lando, I don't see, you know, something's happening with Lando. Stroll has been noted for speeding in pit lane. That's going to be... that's now officially under investigation. That was a quick from being noted to under investigation. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. You just have to hit a button, guys. You just have to hit a button. Just hit the button. Man, Piastri is in a rocket ship right now. Now, Piastri doesn't have to... Let's see. So Piastri is 18 seconds behind the leader, behind Max. Max has to churn out the fastest laps he can, but Piastri is churning out laps now. He's in the 124s, where Max is still in the 125s. That is not going to make the championship, so everyone has to pit on lap 32, right? Stroll gets the 5-second penalty, and here we go. You know, just what it is. So now here's the thing. The strategy that has been locked in now, because you can't do 25 laps more, is that you put a pair of hard tires on the car, and then you're going to the end of the race on lap 32. And Oscar, we can go as far as lap 49 maximum. That's the thing. Like, that's why pitting early is going to either prove to be good or prove to be bad, depending on how far ahead you can get. You know? I guess, in a sense, this is the excitement of the race. But if you have to make it so people have to pit, that's not racing. I want to see racing. I want to see cars passing each other in full speed or in the corner or something. Are you fans crossing their fingers? Stop. Stop. Spare me. Carlos Sainz having a good race today, but not quick. That's the thing. He is not fast at the moment. He's running 126.5s, and that was his fastest. Like, it's just the position that they're at right now. Now, if there's another safety car, that would be an interesting plot twist. But again, I don't see a safety car happening unless, I don't know, unless somebody messes up, right? That's what we're watching for now. Man, I hate this race. It's so boring. Piastri has gotten nearly within DRS of Antonelli. All right, so he's under the second with Antonelli. So on the straight, we should be able to see Piastri open up the DRS, but I don't know if he's going to be able to overtake him. So here we go. Piastri creeping up on him. We're going to see him in the making the final turn. And let's see. So here we go. Well, no, that was second. That was third to last turn. My bad. I messed up counting the turns. All right, here we go. To the front straight. Okay, so we're riding with Piastri right now. I don't see... He's on DRS right now. He's closing the gap. But unless he makes a... Oh, wow, Antonelli just jumped out of the way. That was... Okay. Loss of respect for Kimi Antonelli there. Race, bro. Come on. Norris dinged for track limits at turn 10. Again, turn 10 being that turn that messes with all these drivers. So, yeah, Kimi Antonelli just kind of, could have put it, could have kept it on line. And Antonelli just jumps out of the way, I know he's not racing Piastri right now, but hey, you're in the top 4. You're racing everyone right now. Check every lap, George. Line and turn 10 entry. I'm sure he's out. Oh, that was Charles. Talk about George. Okay, so we're getting close to when they have to go in. So if they pit right now, Max will probably slot into 5th. And they're going to put hards on that car. Man, how the mighty have fallen. Ferrari, trying to get 8th. Jeez. What an awful situation from that team. Right, we're watching Kimi Antonelli staying within, let's see, Lando Norris is within DRS of Antonelli. I mean, I get that Mercedes provides the engine for McLaren, but come on. Come on. You're not a team. Race. Kimi, don't punk out. Like, that move where he just jumped out of the way of Oscar Piastri was like, no, make them work. Make them work. All right. So we're at lap 31 right now. We're on to lap 32. We're going to have to see them go in to change tires. Okay, so Verstappen's going into the pit shortly. Box. It's a make it or break it moment here. Okay, Kimi did not give up the... I mean, he took the wide line but swooped down, kept Norris from making the pass. So that should slow down Norris a little bit there. So Norris kind of backed off. All right, Russell had a track time deleted on turn 10. It's turn 10, guys. It's turn 10. You know, we have to discuss what's going on with turn 10. Like, and I think that the drivers were briefed about turn 10, but they just haven't done anything about it. Okay, so Verstappen's going to be boxing here. All right, Verstappen's going in the pit. And now we wait. Everybody's going in the pit, basically. It's going to get very clogged up here. So that's why having this little bit of time here. Man, that was a fast pit stop for Max. 2.5 seconds, that's pretty good. You know, they gave him what he needed. Okay, here comes Piastri, I believe, down the straight. No, this is Norris down the straight. Piastri moves back into first. I don't think Max is going to be able to hold on to second. Nope, Norris passes Max. All right. All right, so Oscar is back in the lead. And Max has the hard tires on. That should take him to the end of the race. Everybody is in the pits right now. Everybody is in the pits right now. We're going to give you the update of the shakeup once it all kind of irons out. Let you know if anything happens in the pits that is crazy. I know that Stroll will have to serve a penalty if he's going in. Max slots back into third. Lance Stroll moves up to 11th, but he has a penalty on him. Here we go. So just looking at how everything is shaken out, I still have a bunch of in pits and pit outs here. I need to... it's hard to... Give me a moment. I'm catching up. Piastri is fastest guy on the grid. But just put in a 126. Not a great lap time to be putting in right now, but Max put in a 129 last. But he's firing up those hards. So here we go. We're still back to where we were not too long ago. Max just put in a 146. Gee, oh, that's because of the pit stop. I'm like, gee, what? I'm like, excuse me? Something happened with Antonelli here in the pit? Oh, putting on the tire late. Whoa, and then he almost hits the Racing Bull. Behrman is being noted for unsafe condition. Norris is on the radio. This is a bit of the race where we need to be quicker than Max. Yes, it is. And he just put in a 124.6, so that's pretty quick. But Piastri put in a 124.1, so Piastri's still flying that rocket ship. I watched them take that turn, and I'm like, it looks like they're going off every time, but it's always one tire has to be on. All other three can be off. It's just one tire that needs to dip down. Verstappen radio. Let's see what we're getting here. I'm not getting anything. I don't have any text, so I can't hear it. I have to get my volume mixers to work at some point. Okay, so after all the pitting, we have Piastri and Norris 1-2. Max Verstappen slots in the third spot, who just put in a 1:24.8. Not a bad lap for just firing up those hard tires. Carlos Sainz in fourth. Kimi Antonelli fifth. Esteban Ocon sixth. But he did not pit. So he's on lap 24 of those mediums. So he's going to have to pit very soon. Pitting right now, in fact. Fernando Alonso in seventh. Isaac Hadjar moving up to seventh. Russell moving up to eighth. Ocon down to ninth. Down to 10th. Leclerc moves up. Jeez, okay, so the stewards are investigating Behrman for unsafe condition. I want to know what unsafe condition is. Ocon falling down. And Lando, remember, on turn 7 throttle shape, you've gone back to what you were doing before. Yeah, I'm trying. I need more help then because I can't do it. Looks like Norris is having a problem at turn 7. All right, so we have Leclerc, Stroll. Stroll has a penalty yet to be served. Lawson at 11th. Yuki Tsunoda at 12th. Yuki is noted for an unsafe release. Let's see Oliver Behrman here. Goes into the pit. Unsafe condition. Ooh, what happened there? Did Ollie's punching his steering wheel. Rear jack. So yeah, Behrman's times just kind of went down, and if you release in an unsafe condition, I don't know. All right, so let's see what happens with these notes here. So Behrman is under investigation. He's at the back of the pack right now, so it might not even matter. Piastri is on the radio. We need to weigh up what the best idea is in terms of trying to get a safety car or just beating him on pace. So, Oscar, let's go to target -1. Best pace to target -1. I don't know what that is. So, here we go. So we're on lap 37. We're just watching these times roll in. Last lap by Piastri was a 120. Norris, check the car. It could be pretty damaged. I went off. Norris went off. Okay. That's why he put in a 125.7. Max put in a 124.7. That's a second. So Max is within 2.5 seconds of Lando right now. I didn't see where he went off. I wish we would, I wish we had, this is the thing with Formula One production. The video producer should be fired. They need to just go back to it all and actually, put in some effort for this, because the video production of Formula One is terrible. The shots are great, but they have no idea what to look at. And it's beginning to get really frustrating all across the board. Okay, so no further investigation on Yuki. That's not terrible. Okay. So let's see. Lando, I don't hear any radio, so I'm not getting any word from that. So let's see what we get for a lap time from Lando here. Okay, so he just put in a 124.9. Max just put in a 124.6. Let's see what happened to Lando here where he went off. Snapped the car a little bit. Lost a second on that. I don't know how much damage he actually did. Some of that gravel might have gotten onto that tire, though, so that's what you want to avoid. Russell had a track time deleted at turn 10, of all places. Who would have thought? Turn 10. All right, so Max is 2.1 seconds away from Norris, 8.6 away from Piastri. You gotta. This is where strategy is really gonna come together. Did that safety car did that stop during the safety car work in Max's favor? Because he doesn't have to pit. This is his race now. He has to make those hard tires work for the race. If he doesn't, then that's it. You know, like, whew, man, he came close to that gravel there. So we're at lap 39. The McLarens have to pit at lap 49. By the way, this is the music playing right here, coming off of Epidemic Sound. It's basically just something akin to the Formula One theme. Is what I put in. Ooh, Max might have touched the gravel there. Max has got to be careful there. Man, it gets so close. Let's see. Norris put in a 124.9. So did Max. I mean, you're basically... You want to keep it somewhat close right now, but you don't want to push those tires too hard because you got to make them last. You know, and hard tires should last 25 laps, no problem. It's just that the McLarens will have fresh tires coming out. And right now, I mean, Sainz is 29 seconds behind the leader. This pack of three right here is going to be it. This is the pack. And this is where it gets exciting. We're very excited about all this. This is this is the only exciting part of the race, unfortunately. We haven't seen any passing. Like, it's disgusting. We saw Piastri go by Antonelli because of DRS and Antonelli jumping out of the way. You know? You know, I look at the racing line and everything, and I don't know, like, I know that you have to take certain lines through the entirety of the race, and it's one of those things that, as you watch, okay, we got a 10-second stop-go penalty for Behrman, so he has to actually stop and go. So he has to do that in the next 3 laps, I think. So that will pretty much just ruin Behrman's day was already ruined with it, unfortunately for him. But here we are. Here we are with a stop-and-go penalty. I'm just trying to keep an eye on this. Let's see what else is happening here. Let's see. Piastri put in a 124.4, Norris a 124.8, Max a 124.5 or a 124.6. Max is within 1.6 seconds right now. Oh, excuse me. And that's just making a world of difference because if he can just keep it close, I mean, Piastri's on the radio. Excuse me. Thank you for joining us on Sunday morning, or where I guess it's no longer morning, Sunday, midday here on the East Coast of the U.S. We are broadcasting live. We are doing some commentary of the Qatar Grand Prix. We saw Oscar kind of do the same thing that Norris did. Might have taken some damage there. We shall see, won't we? Max is starting to get in a groove. I don't know. He's within 1.1 of Norris at this point. Max is making this interesting. It's making it interesting. I don't know if Max needs to make a move, but he just needs to keep it close. Keep it within there. You can get to DRS. You get that extra 20, however many kilometers an hour. 20 kilometers an hour, I think. And that can make all the world of difference at the end of the day. Max is right on Norris's tail. He's getting the slipstream from him, so that's going to help. You can see the time jumping down. And just into the first turn. He just has to bide his time. Max doesn't have to be overly aggressive right here. They still have to pit. You're just playing for that. If you can get ahead of them, great. So he isn't slowing you down. Okay, so Alonso just got passed by Russell. Was that a legitimate pass? Okay, Behrman has served his penalty. I like how they keep on putting up the points on screen, and it's like, yeah, nothing's changed for a bit. I mean, what we all really want is it to go down to Abu Dhabi no matter what. Russell gets ahead of Hadjar. Okay. Is Piastri coming in now? Okay, yeah, so it was 42. Okay. Okay, so they're boxing Piastri now. And he's going to go to the end on these next tires. Okay. So I guess what they're thinking is get him out into fresh air right now. Now, if... Oh, this is such a long pit lane right here. Here comes Carlos. Piastri should be ahead of him. Yep. Okay, so Piastri pitted early. He's going to go 25 on these laps, on these tires. This is so interesting right now. It's so, like, it's not interesting in an exciting point. It's just interesting that we're seeing this happen now. So you have Max Verstappen now within DRS range of Lando Norris. Norris still has to pit. Max does not have to pit. Russell had his track time deleted. Turn 1. That's weird. You know, and here's the thing. Verstappen doesn't have to worry about passing him right now. But he's going to want to just to get out of the air. So we have to keep an eye on this. Okay, they're on the front straightaway. Max has DRS. Max is not going to be able to make the move here because it's not that long of a straight. Just bide your time. Just bide your time. They're going to, in the next 5 laps, he has to pit. Max is keeping it right on the line. It's amazing how well they can race these lines. Piastri is... Let's see, 17 seconds behind Max. So they had a 1.8 second pit stop. Oh my God. Is that the fastest on the year? That's got to be the fastest on the year. That's crazy. Anything can happen in a pit stop. It's so insane. So you got to wonder, let's see what the times are. So he just did a 124.8. Verstappen's on a 124.7. Piastri just put in the fastest sector 1. Piastri is flying right now. 16 seconds behind Max at the moment. Okay, so they're getting ready to send him in. Okay, so Max is going to... Oh, wow, okay. He just dove down into that pit. All right, here comes Oscar. Here comes Norris. Let's see. Let's see how well... this is a big pit stop for Lando. Felt like a little bit of a hang there. 2.7, not nearly as fast as Oscar's. Here comes Oscar passing Lando on the front straight. Norris slots into... Okay, let's see. Here comes Carlos. Yeah, this might wreck Norris's race here. Getting into some dirty air here. Or were those lap cars? Nope, those were not lap cars. Okay, so here it is. Oscar has 12 laps to make up 15 seconds. Oscar is flying right now. He's at 122.9s. This is insane. Black and white flag for Russell. So we got track limits on Russell. Let's see. Fernando put the car into a spin. Wow, okay, but recovered. Recovered nicely. Wow. That's why he dropped a few spots. I was like, what happened there? Let's see. George Russell went off there. That's why he lost time. That's why he got dinged for track limits. It's so impossible to pass on this track, man. It's so impossible to. You need something to go wrong to pass on this track, and that's just terrible. You know, it's just to a point. I don't know. Oh, well. Okay, so we have Max going. Max in the lead at the moment. There's still a 15-second differential between Max and Piastri. I think Norris will struggle to pass Antonelli with the pace we are doing. Yeah, if you can keep Norris back there, then you're going to... Okay, FIA stewards, penalty served for Behrman. Okay. They retired Behrman, so... All right, so we have Max putting in 123s right now. Same thing with Piastri. See what happened to Lando here. Yep, his tires weren't up to speed, up to heat, so he kind of took it a little sideways for a moment. Piastri now 14.8 seconds behind. 14.6 seconds behind. I mean, this is going to be a long time. Yeah, guys, I think we need to go for it. Push flat out till the finish. Try to get this. Sainz sees a podium. Sainz sees a podium. And that's the thing. Like... Antonelli, I mean, it could happen, right? Stranger things have happened. A Carlos Sainz podium in the works, maybe? I mean, this is it to the end. Unless we have a safety car, this is it to the end. Piastri at 14.5 behind Max. Max just in the clean air. Just driving at the moment. Got 9 laps to go. Carlos Sainz started 7th. He's now in the 3rd spot. We're about to see if the early pit stop pays off. You know? Piastri, 14.2 seconds behind Max. He's got to make up more than a second a lap, but we'll see what happens at the end, because if that's happening, you know, like, because I look at the last sector, it looks like Piastri really comes alive in sector 3. So, okay. So we have Kimi Antonelli versus Lando. We're at the point of the race where I don't think Antonelli gives up the spot as easily. Now, Norris is 2 seconds behind Antonelli. We're going to see it happen in maybe 1 lap. They're saying the battle in 1 lap. Piastri's at 13.8 behind Max. $13.7 now. It's dropping. It's dropping. Piastri's the fastest car right now. Max is not putting in bad laps, but Piastri is just putting in super fast laps. And that's the thing. He just, head down. Just get to work. Colapinto, track limits at turn 10. It's a 16th place, Franco Colapinto. What a signing by Alpine. What a signing by Alpine. I mean, hasn't that been such a success story that they nuke Jack Doohan's career? And now Franco Colapinto has another year of nothingness to provide for all of us to watch. You know, I just don't see anything with him. I don't. And I don't know why there's any buzz around him. Like, if you like him, great, but I don't think he's anything special. I really don't. You know, like, he looked better than Logan Sargent. Wow, what an accomplishment. You look better than the worst driver on the grid. You know what? That's not shooting straight at Logan Sargent. It's hard to get into Formula One. It's crazy to get into Formula One. You have to be one of the 20 best in the world. I don't think the 20 best drivers are driving right now. But you have the best driver in the world in the first spot right now, at the very least. You know? That lead is down to 12.9. Piastri just cutting away. We got 7. You know, we're on lap 50. Just keep on. If he keeps on just whittling away at it, we might have a race at the end. Now Antonelli has Norris right behind him. DRS is open on Norris. Antonelli sweeps down into turn 1. The move will not get done right there. And away we go. We keep going. Antonelli keeping Norris at bay. Piastri still at 12.9. We'll see if anything happens here. Max is losing time, but it's not tremendous. Hadjar track limits on turn 10. It's just turn 10. 12.8 on Max. I mean, it's got to go down faster now. If you're gonna be there at the end. Hamilton passes Stroll, who goes into the pit. Carlos Sainz. I think the key is to open the gap now to Norris as much as possible. I agree. Man, Sainz really wants that spot, and undoubtedly he really wants it. I mean, that's a nothing statement, really. Antonelli keeps Norris behind him. Yeah, that he's having a hard time passing him. Norris is within DRS right there, so he's getting that extra speed down the straight, but he's not getting past him. Max still ahead of Piastri, 12.9. I don't know. I don't know if oh no, I have understeer in right-hand corners. Sainz is like talking through everything. Check, something fell off, I think. Oh no. Come on, Carlos. Hang in there. We've got some excitement happening here. Just a lot of exciting things happening here. There's not a lot of passing, but a lot of exciting things happening, I guess. So here we go. Okay, cool. Let's see. So we're at lap 52. Got 12.6 between Max and Piastri. I just think that if Piastri's going to do it, it has to happen. Like he has to be cutting down that time way faster than this. Okay, Antonelli stays well ahead of Norris on this one. Okay. Norris is having issues trying to pass Antonelli. Potential damage on the floor. The front wing is okay. Sainz is communicated to. Piastri is at 12.5 away from Verstappen. I don't think we're going to see a huge push here. So penalty served, Stroll Speeding in the pit lane. I mean, Piastri, he has to make up 12.3 seconds in the span of 5 laps. I just don't think he can. He's faster than Max. He's definitely faster than Max because Max's times are in the 124s. He's in the 123s, in the high 123s at that. But Max could stand to lose a second each lap, and he'd still finish ahead. Well ahead. I mean, this is crazy stuff here, guys. I mean, this is the real race right now is Norris and Antonelli. Those are the only two cars that are anywhere close to each other, really. Antonelli keeps on getting closer to Sainz as well. Yeah, Antonelli's 1.6 seconds behind Sainz. That floor damage could be causing Sainz to really start to drop back. So if everything finishes as it is, Verstappen would leapfrog Piastri in the standings. I mean, Piastri's 11.7 behind Verstappen. Just don't think that he can get there. You know what I mean? These tires will have to completely fall off. I mean, it's 4 laps. I don't think that he's going to get there in 4 laps. And Antonelli has opened it up a little bit from Norris. They were at one point really close to each other. Now it's 0.7. The DRS zone is just not long enough here, and I just don't think that he's going to be able to get this done. Too bad, so sad, but, you know, like, I'm not feeling anything. This was the situation that Lando Norris didn't want. He wants to be on the podium. You know, podium spots give a lot more points, so let's see what happens here. So Norris is dropping out of DRS range now. He's getting closer to being out of DRS range. He's now over a second behind. That's not great for Norris right there. He's gotten back into it, but I mean, if Antonelli is catching up to Sainz, though, that's the other thing. And I think Antonelli is able to get the slipstream off of Sainz down the straight. So my mouth is not working as well. Piastri had a time deleted. Turn 10. He's starting to try to take chances now. He's starting to get a little bit more wild in his driving. So 10.7 seconds behind. I mean, that's 3 laps, 10 seconds. Kevin Hart's going to wave the flag, evidently. That's great. You know who's exhausted from Kevin Hart? Me. Leclerc had a time deleted, track limits, turn 14. Leclerc said he went off, was checking for damage. What a weekend to forget for Ferrari. Russell moves ahead of Hadjar. Ooh, Hadjar. Okay, Hadjar. Hadjar is falling behind? Did Hadjar have a lockup, or is that a tire? Ooh, Hadjar might... I don't know what's happening to him. I think Hadjar has an issue. Oh, boy. Hadjar might have an issue here. Track surface slippery in sector 1, surface slippery in sector 2, clear in sector 1. Ooh, Hadjar dropping. Does he have a puncture? It looked like he was smoking, so might have been a puncture. I mean, to be honest, you might, like, if it wasn't for Max, you'd probably be thinking about maybe giving Yuki Tsunoda driver of the day. I mean, Carlos Sainz, too. Piastri now 9.5 seconds to go. We're on the final lap, though. It doesn't matter. He's got to get 9.5 seconds out of this lap. And I just don't see it. So it looks like Norris was able to overtake Antonelli. That race finally came to its conclusion. Let's see if Sainz can get on the podium. Let's get a podium here, Carlos. We're just going to have to keep an eye on any sort of, track limits or anything. 8.7 seconds behind. Max still driving the car, still going. You never know. You never know, right? You never know. This is why you race all the laps, right? It's not just a sprint. It's a marathon here. Just keep it together, Max. Here you go. You can get this thing across. He's on the front straight, and he is across. And Max Verstappen takes the Qatar Grand Prix. Slotting in behind, Oscar Piastri. Checkered flag being waved. Here comes Carlos Sainz around the last corner. Last turn. Let's see it, Carlos. Lay on the hammer. Lay it on. And Carlos Sainz. Second podium for Williams in the year 2025. What a race. What a race. No passing, with the exception of the one pass that happened between Antonelli and Norris that we didn't see. I swear. What a joke. What a joke. What a terrible track this is. Well, Max Verstappen moves ahead of Piastri in the points standings. The championship goes to Abu Dhabi. Norris has 408 points. Max Verstappen with 396. Oscar Piastri with 392. It's going to have to be a perfect weekend next weekend for Oscar Piastri to stay in contention. Same thing with Max, though. I mean, Max has to win. At this point, Max has to win if he's going to win, and that's it. What an interesting race. The strategy comes back to bite McLaren. They should have probably have pit when everybody else did. They just couldn't fire up the tires at the end and couldn't make the moves that they needed to. They got the fast pit stops, but the strategy was not sound. The strategy was not sound, everyone. Red Bull comes across with 2-point scores. Yuki Tsunoda slotting in at 10th. Antonelli and Russell, 5th and 6th. Norris coming in at 4th. Fernando Alonso grabbing 7th. Charles Leclerc grabbing 8th. Liam Lawson, 9th for the Racing Bulls. Look at that. Good race for Carlos Sainz. Hadjar, unsafe condition, will be investigated after the race. So if there's an issue there, he might get a penalty going into next week. So Carlos Sainz, smooth operator. Look at that. I mean, how ironic is it that Carlos Sainz leaves Ferrari and before Lewis Hamilton, the greatest of all time, before he can get a podium with Ferrari, Carlos Sainz gets 2 with Williams. What a scene. What a scene. All right. Well, we are at the end of the race. This has been F1 Silly Mornings. I hope you've enjoyed this commentary. If you did, give it a like, a subscribe. I appreciate all of you for hanging out with me on Sunday, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Coming from Qatar, Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri, and Carlos Sainz. Take care, everybody.